Who was Eliot Ness? Eliot Ness joined the Bureau of Prohibition in 1927, assembling a team of Prohibition enforcement personnel known as the Untouchables to combat the activities of gangster Al Capone. Ness stands as the man most often recognized for destroying the multi-million-dollar brewery's operation by Al Capone. Ness was responsible, in part, for Capone's arrest and conviction of tax evasion. He was instrumental in ceasing the power Capone had over the city of Chicago. He moved on to the Chicago branch of the U.S. Treasury Department in 1927, where he became an agent. Ness was transferred to the Justice Department in 1928 to work with a prohibition. Ness had to choose no more than 12 men to form this special squad. Ness's plan was to injure Capone where it hurt the most, his wallet. If the squad could severely damage the mobster's source of income, Capone would lose the power to buy protection and services. Ness was assigned to destroy the breweries affiliated with Capone and gather evidence associating Capone and his followers with breaking federal laws. Ness's goal was to have a major impact on the gangster's approximate annual salary of $75 million. By October 1929, Ness had selected 9 agents to carry out these awesome tasks. This special unit began locating and shutting down breweries in the Chicago area affiliated with Capone. Through surveillance, anonymous tips, and wiretapping, they were able to discover many of the money-making businesses in which Capone was involved. Within the first 6 months of operation, Ness and his crew seized 19 distilleries and 6 major breweries, denting Capone's wallet by approximately $1 million. One of Capone's men paid Ness a visit in Chicago's transportation building. He offered to pay Ness $2,000 to stop ruining Capone's businesses and promised an additional $2,000 each week following if he continued to cooperate. Outraged, Ness ordered the man out and immediately called the press into his office. That day in 1930, Ness announced that neither he nor any of his men could be bought by Capone, and their mission was unstoppable. The next day, a Chicago Tribune reporter referred to the special squad as the Untouchables, a name that eventually became the title of a 1960s TV crime drama about Ness, as well as a popular 1987 feature film that starred Kevin Costner. The press was an ally. Ness made a habit of calling the media for each raid his crew made on Capone's breweries. Although critics argued that such publicity would harm the squad's efforts, Ness proved them wrong because they could operate under the Untouchables without recognition. Capone had the squad's phones tapped, and the pressure was mounting. For some time, the squad was unsuccessful in their mission. One raid, however, did prove successful, forcing Capone to lose more than $200,000 on one brewery. Capone's rage intensified, caused a friend of Ness's to be brutally murdered. In response, Ness made a personal phone call to Capone, telling him to look out his window at 11 o'clock. Ness paraded all of Capone's vehicles seized from their raids. They were on their way to be auctioned off. Following this, 3 murder attempts were made on Eliot Ness. Ness and his men discovered a large brewery on the top 2 floors of an office building after receiving an anonymous tip from a woman. The unit halted operations at the location, costing Capone an estimated $1 million. After a long and successful career in Chicago and Cleveland, perhaps Ness' greatest challenge came when his reputation as an irreproachable investigator was questioned.